Cottonwood stands tall and proud along the small stream, where her roots grow into the soil to get water. Her heart-shaped leaves flutter in the sun, making food for her from water, sunlight, and carbon dioxide found in the air. She's now 10 years old and about 30 feet tall. Today, however, something has happened that has upset her deep into her heartwood.
I was so happy when I had flowers for the first time.
Cottonwood's lovely, long green flowers collected pollen released from handsome Mr. Cottonwood's long red flowers. Growing just upstream, the wind carried his pollen to her flowers, where her seeds ripened.
But now my seeds, they're leaving me.
Cottonwood's 40 million seeds, each one a tiny baby tree with a little bit of food, surrounded in a protective coat, quietly floated away on their fluffy parachute. Her branches and leaves drooped as she worried about her babies and where they would live and grow. Since she was rooted to the spot, she thought and thought. How could she find out about her babies? Then she had an idea. The next day, the sky lightened to a bright blue, and Cottonwood was ready to put her plan into action. Just then, Cottonwood Borer hovered nearby, looking Cottonwood over for a place to lay her eggs.
Cottonwood Borer, are you getting ready to lay eggs in my bark?
Well, why would you think that?
Because you've been here before, chewing little pits at the base of my lovely gray trunk, which I don't appreciate, because your larva babies eat my roots and then my heartwood.
Well, my babies have to eat too. And you're so big and strong. I think you could lose a little bit of your root and your heartwood.
Speaking of babies, since you're getting food for your babies from me, would you fly around and look for my seeds? I'm very worried about them.
Well,
Since they just floated away in the wind, and I don't see any of them.
I guess I could do. Whoa! Fire out of here! But I'll try to go
The tapping sound gets closer and closer until a red-headed woodpecker flies into sight, heading for Cottonwood, who does a little shudder. Although Woodpecker taps into her bark and eats Cottonwood Borer's babies that eat her roots and heartwood, the tapping does get tiresome. This time, however, R.H. Woodpecker is looking not for food, but a dead branch.
Cottonwood, do you have any hollow branches by chance? I'm looking for a place to carve a hole for my eggs, and I really am in need of some rotten wood.
I beg your pardon. I do not have any rotten wood.
Well, your mother had a lot of rotten wood, but I guess you are quite.
Shaking her leaves, Cottonwood starts to bark back, then remembers her plan. Changing her tone, she asks,
As you're flying around, would you please help look for my seeds? They floated off into the wind, and I so want to know how they're doing.
Arranging her brilliant feathers, Woodpecker considers.
Well, let's see, I have a lot of things to do, but I guess I will, if by chance I see one, I'll let you know. No promises.
And away she flies. As the sun rises in the sky, Cottonwood begins drawing water from her roots and sending food down to them from the sugar food she is making using her leaves. Squirrel bounds up, twitching her tail and chittering, getting ready to leap up Cottonwood's trunk into her branches. Knowing Squirrel loves nuts and other seeds, Cottonwood gasps.
Stop right there, squirrel. Have you been eating my seeds?
Goodness no, Cottonwood. Your seeds are too small to make a meal for me. But I'm actually just looking for a place to build my dray, way up at the top of your tree so that I can have a nest, far away from the foxes.
Knowing squirrels are very clever, Cottonwood considers.
Now, squirrel, as you gather nuts for fall, would you please watch out for my seeds and report back to me how they're doing?
Knowing Cottonwood has nice, strong branches and leaves and gives of them freely, Squirrel agrees to be on the lookout for her seeds and bounds away. As the day moves forward to night, new animals appear. The deer arise from their grassy beds, opossum wanders out from her den, and owl soundlessly sweeps in from the big Grandfather Cottonwood over the hill, where she lived in a large hole in Grandfather Cottonwood's trunk.
Hey, owl, hey, because you have such keen eyesight, could you help me? My babies, they floated away, and I so want to know how they are. Could you go and find them? I know you can spot them with your eyes. Who are we looking for? My children, they all floated away, and I'm very worried about them.
Oh, this will happen every spring from now on, but I will look for them when I hunt.
And on silent wings off she flew. As night wore on, Cottonwood thought about what Owl had said. If her seeds left each year, how would she know they were going to be okay? She wondered and she worried. Fall soon turned to winter, and Cottonwood forgot about her seeds as she lost her leaves and then went to sleep while the world around her turned cold. The next spring she woke as the air warmed and her flowers began to form once more. Then she remembered her seeds from the previous year and was sad. Just then Squirrel bounded by and stopped short at the sight of the Cottonwood.
Hi, Cottonwood. I'm so sorry. I got so busy last summer burying my seeds and then unburied them all winter, so I wouldn't starve. And I saw some of your babies growing by the water. And now they're like 6 inches tall. They're growing, Cottonwood.
And then Cottonwood was as happy as a tree could be, spreading her branches and flowers as far as possible to catch the pollen. Thinking happy tree thoughts of sunlight and water, she sighed.
I'm ready now to send out a whole new batch of 40 million seeds.
And that's just what she did that year and for many, many years later.